But here's a film that everyone can watch because it's on Netflix. It stars Jake Gyllenhaal. Have I got your attention yet? This movie is called The Guilty. This film, for those who haven't seen it, before we get into it, I'll warn you. It takes place mostly in one room. It is about. Let me read out the description here on IMDb. The synopsis: a demoted police officer assigned to call dispatch. So let me go again. Take two. A demoted police officer assigned to a call dispatch desk is conflicted when he receives an emergency phone call from a kidnapped woman. So he's on the phone pretty much the whole movie, kind of like phone booth, I guess, talking to a woman who claims to be kidnapped. And you might think, didn't like, what's his name? The Plane movie starring Jason Gordon-Levitt. Similar sort of idea, but this movie is an incredible performance. And fuck it, I'll just get into my thoughts straight away instead of passing off to one of you schmucks. The most amazing thing
Thanks,
about
Matthew.
this, yeah, you know, I can't let your egos get too big, so I gotta cut you down a leg every now and then. No, I'm kidding. I love you guys. The most amazing thing about The Guilty, in my opinion, is how the writing is able to keep you invested and engaged at all times. Very early on watching this film, I was like, it takes place all pretty much within the same room. I'm going to get bored fast. I wasn't bored for a single second. Every scene goes for just the right amount of length and has just the right amount of twists and clues and hints that it kept me engaged the whole time. And that constantly surprised me. I was surprised at how interested I was because they did such a great job of keeping me engaged. I think it was really good writing. From my understanding, this is based off a foreign film.
Yeah, it's a European film. I think it's a Danish film. I think. I could be wrong. But
I know nothing about that. Other than I've seen some people say the original was better. But I think no matter what, everyone's always going to say the original was better with everything. You know, the books were better. The show was better. The poem was better. The thing I imagined in my head, which never existed when I was a child, was better. It's always something's better. So, but for me, watching this film, this experience, this is an incredible performance with Jake Gyllenhaal. Really well directed. Really great pacing. There's not really a lot to say because there aren't a lot of stuff that goes on, but there are some twists that I didn't see coming, and I'm usually pretty good. I like to think I'm pretty good picking them out, but there was a moment where I was like, "Oh shit!" Like I never saw that's a really good twist, and when you get those moments, it's a good feeling when a movie can pull that off. So. Yeah, that's kind of all I have to say. Shout outs to The Guilty. If you want, if you've got an hour and a half to spend on Netflix and you want to watch something, give it a watch. It's just be prepared. It's not going to be a million explosions and stuff. You don't see much other than seeing Jake Gyllenhaal on a phone, but it's surprisingly still very entertaining. Let me pass it off to Jesse.
Yes.
Jesse, do you have anything to add on that? Any thoughts, comments?
I also did really enjoy it. I wouldn't say though it's the best like one person location type film I've seen. Probably my favorite one would probably have to be Locke with Tom Hardy. I don't know if you guys have seen that one. I think that's probably my favorite one because that was so effective. But this one's also really good. I love Jake Gyllenhaal. I think I mentioned in the previous podcast that Nick Pizzolatto did the screenplay for this, like the adaptation of the European film, and I'm a huge fan of his. Like I love True Detective and Galveston and all the other stuff he's done. But from what I understand though, from what other people have said, because I haven't seen the European version, but I've heard this is not that different to the European version. There's only a couple of different changes.
Like a shot-for-shot remake type thing.
I don't know if it's a shot-for-shot, but I think it's just like story-wise. There's not that many changes, only a couple, besides the obvious location that it's LA and, you know, so, and not Denmark. So, but yeah, like, look, you know, just basing it off, you know, just seeing it without seeing the European version, I thought it was a really good film and, you know, kept me captivated and, engaged, and yeah, it was a lot of stuff that happened that I wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting the wife to be the one that was like kind of the actual, you know, I don't want to say bad person, but like,
yeah, the whole situation is very different to what you'd expect.
yeah, pretty much. You expect it's just the
and
husband.
That reveal, yeah, and like what I think they did a good job of is if you go back, you can see the clues were laid out there. But I think in this day and age, we always assume, you know, you hear a guy yelling at a woman, you assume it's probably some domestic case, you know. So I think that was done really well. Yeah, 80. Do you have anything to add onto that?
I thought it was really great. Like I said earlier, he could play a potato, and I will still happily pay even double the price of the ticket to watch it because it's Jake Gyllenhaal, and he's just amazing. I actually really look forward to one location films. I think they're really cool when they are pulled off so brilliantly because that is just pure talent. That's just amazing writing. Probably my couple of like ones I would maybe compare it to because it is one location would be something like Alien and Reservoir Dogs. They're really great examples where you are intrigued the entire time. You actually sort of just forget that you're in one thing. You feel like you are then right there with that character the whole film. So when I came out of The Guilty, I felt like I needed a solid breather because it was like I was on that phone call the whole time as well. It's so much more than just that. Like he's struggling internally on so many levels because, you know, he just wants to do his stupid job and get it over with so he can focus on, you know, a failing marriage and a kid at home that he obviously hasn't seen for a while. And then when this comes up,
court dates the next day.
Exactly.
The court case the next day as well. Yeah.
That's right. And then when the call comes through, it's almost, I felt like it was a way of him trying to fix this for this woman because he can't fix what he has to with his own child. That's where I went emotionally with his character, and that made me more invested throughout the whole ride. And that twist absolutely got me. It made me feel sick, sick and sad. It was so unexpected. So I really, really liked it.
Yeah, something we haven't really touched on much, and we don't have to really get into it, but the ending, which I kind of don't want to spoil too much, but you kind of find out why it's called The Guilty in that last scene. Because throughout it, you know, there is a ongoing plot thread, which is they purposely keep mysterious about something's got going on the next day. It got me thinking. I know this is like a hot topic with police brutality and stuff, and I was trying to think to myself, is this
too on the nose?
First of all, like I don't, yeah, like it's a bit on the nose. It's a little preachy. Like I don't know because I don't know how realistic it would be for someone to come to the conclusion that he did. That instead of choosing to save himself, he would like want to become a martyr. Well, not a martyr, but like an example. Like they literally let himself become set as an example of what not to do. I don't know, but I think Jake did a good job of making it believable. I don't know if I find it hard to believe in real life someone would be willing to
do that.
Yeah, like, I know. I like to think the world's a good place. I like to think that is the case. I think most people come down to like a fight or flight response, and yeah, but we know. I don't know. We'll see.
I think in a way it was him sort of maybe just ultimately redeeming himself for all of the wrongs. He was really, really, I don't know, just down and out. And I think once he had experienced that call, it just flicked a switch in him, and he went, I can't, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, I think regardless of anything, the script does a good job of tying in this personal struggle he's got going on with this current obstacle he's got. And I think that comes together really well. Overall, like I'm sort of realizing now, well, this is the movie we all three of us have seen. It's one of the most difficult to talk about because there's not a lot of characters. There's not a lot of
Yeah.
elements to the story, but it's a great film all around. I think we're all in agreement, and it's definitely worth a watch.